Let's get started. By luck of the draw and flip of the coin and whatever else I could figure out to do, Hans Schmidt will be the first.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to quickly thank Tom, Laura, and Brett for holding this event today. I think this is a great opportunity for us to talk and have an opportunity to meet us and hear what our positions are. As your next District 6 council member, I will work to develop and maintain productive relationships with the important stakeholders in our city, from the mayor's office to department heads at the government to concerned citizens. I will work to critically analyze important questions facing our city and learn and understand how those issues will affect our residents and business owners. I will not be afraid to make tough choices about those issues. I will also work to be a responsive and committed advocate for the residents and business owners of District 6. I believe I'm the best person for that job because of my experience and background. So I'd like to take a second to just talk to you about me. I have a lifelong relationship with Nashville. I was born and raised here. I'm a product of Metro Public Schools from grade school through high school, graduating from Hume Fogg. I hold an economics degree from Eckerd College at St. Petersburg, Florida. After college, I joined the Peace Corps, where I spent 2 years serving our country in the Dominican Republic, working as an environmental awareness educator. After the Peace Corps, I returned to Nashville, where I was fortunate enough to meet my lovely wife, Tommy Ann. I ended up working as a front desk clerk at a hotel. That experience led into a 5-year career in the hospitality business, where I worked in management and a variety of aspects of the hotel operation. At a certain point, I decided that that's not what I wanted to do. I decided to go back to law school. I attended Cumberland School of Law at Stanford University. Since graduation, my career has been spent at Baker Donelson. I currently serve as a commercial litigator. I also, more recently, have been president of the Lockland Springs Neighborhood Association. Through that role, I've been able to work with concerned citizens, community organizations, current councilmen on addressing problems and issues facing our neighborhood now, from working on public parks to talking about crime and things like that. As an attorney, every day, I represent my clients' best interests. At times, that means aggressive advocacy of their point of view. At other times, that means seeking compromise and negotiation. Those are the kinds of skills that the next councilman must have. That's why I believe I'm best suited for that role. The ability to think critically, advocate strongly, while recognizing opportunity through negotiation and togetherness. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate looking forward to answering your questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming out here this afternoon. It's great to be here. Thank you, Tom, and thank you for the church for having us here. My name is Peter Westerholm, and I'm running for Metro Council here in District 6. I came to Nashville roughly 16 years ago to attend college. I went to Lipscomb University, where I studied government and public administration. Later on, I went out to Pepperdine University, where I got my master's in public policy. I came back to Nashville roughly 8 years ago, and throughout that time, I've been working with the State Budget and Planning Office. And I've been telling people there was really two main things the council does, budgets and zoning. And I feel as if my work with the state and their Budget and Planning Office has prepared me very well for a lot of the issues that we're going to have coming at us in the years ahead. When I came to East Nashville a little over 6 years ago, where I bought a house over on Long Avenue, and I fell in love with the neighborhood. I thought everything was so great about what's going on here, just like many of you feel. And I looked for ways to be involved and looked for ways to be a part of what was going on here in the community and in Nashville. In 2007, as many of you recall, I ran for Metro Council at large on a smart growth platform with the basic idea that how we grow matters and how we grow determines where we end up and the importance of growing in a predictable way that ensures a quality of life for us. That experience then led to me becoming more involved in many organizations, from Metro boards and commissions to volunteer work throughout the city and throughout parts of East Nashville. I'm running for Metro Council here in District 6 in order to provide that same type of vision. I think that over the next number of years, we'll be making decisions that will determine where we end up decades from now. And my platform of Smart Growth Starts Here seeks to address that. I think that we have to provide a good balance between development and preservation, provide sustainable and livable neighborhoods, provide more transit options for more people, provide more housing options and a greater variety of housing opportunities for many of our residents, and continue to be a welcoming place for residents old and young, and as well as the new folks and the folks who have been here for quite some time. The election is coming up. As you know, you've been hearing us talk, you've been seeing us knocking on your doors and putting out signs. And I would just encourage you, ask the hard questions. We really want to be involved, we really want to be your next representative on the Metro Council to provide a strong advocacy for the issues that we care about and provide to make sure that we continue to be a welcoming place and a strong neighborhood. Thank you.
I hope I'm last but not least. I appreciate everyone for coming. Brett, Laura, Tom, for putting this all together. Good afternoon. I'm Dave Rich, and I'm running for City Council. I'd also like to thank all of you for being here. Engaging in this kind of public dialogue is exactly what our neighborhoods need. One of the reasons why I got involved and wanted to run for City Council is because City Council affords you as a government representative an opportunity that is given to nobody else. Your city councilman or councilwoman is where our government, the rubber meets the road. There is no closer government representative that you will have than your city councilman. Now, I appreciate the fact that we're going to engage in a thoughtful discussion today about what's going to be the best for our neighborhood. I think I'm the best candidate for our neighborhood because of my background, and I think also my work ethic, which I will definitely dedicate to the citizens and the residents of East Nashville. Now, the important decisions that we have to make as a councilman are roughly in 4 areas, and they all center upon, and my philosophy is this, that it all centers and spans from education. Education is the primary goal of our government. After public safety, which is a peripheral issue, education, if we have a strong educational system, everything will span from that. We will get better businesses here because they'll be able to employ the stronger labor and the skilled labor that our educational system will be able to provide. Those people will then in turn make money that will be able to fund our tax base so that we'll be able to invest in the local public infrastructure as well as fully fund our police force. Those are things that we all want, but those smart decisions have to be made on the councilmatic level in order for those things to be done. A little bit about myself. I was born in Athens, Georgia. I left Athens at the age of 18. Well, let me back up. I was the son of, my mom is a veteran school teacher. She taught for over 28 years, first grade. My father was a professor of geology at the University of Georgia. And after graduating from public high school in Athens, I went to Indiana, Crawfordsville, Indiana, where I graduated from Wabash College. After finishing Wabash, I went back to Athens, where I got my law degree from the University of Georgia. After finishing the University of Georgia, I moved to Nashville, where I worked for a civil defense litigation firm in downtown Nashville, and I've been there ever since. So effectively, my entire professional experience it happened in Nashville. The first home I purchased was here in East Nashville. So I love this neighborhood. That's why I want to run, and that's why I'm hoping today that we can join in a productive discussion for the best interests of East Nashville, and I certainly want to continue that once I become the councilman for this district. So I appreciate you all being here today, and thank you.
All right, thanks for the question. As far as putting together sufficient resources, I think that we are in the process of achieving that. I think that you look at what we have Metro Police, the East Precinct, is fully staffed at this point, and I would want to continue that. I think that we have a very good East Precinct that's committed to making sure that we have the public safety is where it needs to be. I would add on, though, as far as devoting resources, I think that we've seen here in East Nashville that resources and community resources is more than just making sure that the police are funded and they have enough people out on the street. It's also a matter of engaging the community. You know, we find that it's one thing to have more police on the street. It's one thing to have an alarm system or to have dogs, but the biggest deterrent to crime, as we know, is a well-organized group of neighbors who look out for each other. And that's our greatest resource, is that we as a community have understood that we need to look out for each other. We need to establish relationships with our neighbors, and we do that. I think I would want to make sure that we continue to do that and make sure that in areas that don't have as much of a neighborhood association presence, that don't have as much presence on the crime listserv, that we would make sure that those resources are available, that we reach out to those people, and we find ways to make sure that they are connected.
I'm told for the video I should be speaking from here, so I'm just going to ask that question one more time. Do you believe insufficient resources are being employed to address crime in East Nashville? How will you address crime issues in East Nashville if elected? And now it's David Rich's turn.
Well, it's fine. I'll go now. As a councilman, I would be dedicated to fully staffing the East Precinct. That's number one. So in dealing with the budgeting issues, that's the primary issue, is to make sure that our police force has the resources and tools that it needs to keep us all safe. That's one type of currency that can be employed in helping out our neighborhood. The other type of currency that can be used is ourselves, the neighborhood itself. A neighborhood that is vigilant, that watches out for one another, is what we need. We have it now, and we have a construct of neighborhood associations that are vital to our community. I would like to improve those neighborhood associations, make and employ them on not just a district and a councilmatic level, but create a partnership between our neighborhood associations, the police, as well as government. I'm recently was endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police, which I'm very proud of, and one of the components of them is of that endorsement is creating a strong working partnership with our police and giving them those tools that are necessary to police this area. I also had the opportunity about 2 weeks ago to go on an officer ride-along, which I encourage everyone in here to do at some point. I got to see the efforts of our police on a ground level, and they have challenges which many of us are unaware of. But the one thing, when I talked with Officer Nick McCluskey about what do we need in our neighborhoods, and he said the number one thing that the neighborhoods can do is to be vigilant and to engage us as police. He said we try very hard to get that engagement, but we can only go so far. The neighborhood also has to come the other step of the mile. And things like the Thursday afternoon meetings with the Commissioner Nash, now Commissioner Imhoff, that's going to be taking over for the East Precinct. Those are the types of things that I think that we can do on a local level to increase our public safety. Thank you.
Well, I think one thing we need to do for crime in East Nashville is recognize, first of all, that the Metro government is going to open a new precinct in Madison, which will split the geographic scope of the current East Precinct from, split it in half essentially, where now East Precinct will cover more of this side of East Nashville rather than all the way up to Madison. So I think the first thing we need to make sure is that both precincts are fully funded, and not a situation where the East Precinct resources are split to cover both. I think we need to make sure that both are fully funded and fully staffed. And that way the East Precinct will have a smaller geographic area to cover, giving more officers for our area for quicker response times and things like that. Granted, they're doing a great job now, but again, if the more officers we have here, I think the better off we'll be on that. Day to day, as president of Lockland Springs Neighborhood Association, I've attended a once-a-month meeting with the East, what they call it the East Caucus at the East Precinct Department. I would continue to do that as councilman. Those meetings bring an opportunity to meet with Commander Nash, or now the new Commander Imhoff, Sergeant Ogren. All the presidents of the local neighborhood associations come together We talk about issues that they may face in their neighborhoods. Gives a great way to facilitate open communication between the leaders of the neighborhood associations